It's Benji Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio and host of the syndicated talk show, People of Distinction. The talk that gives you an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, alcoleenterprises.com for more info. Email me through benji@alcoleenterprises.com if you'd like to get involved with what we have going. And as always, please continue to like and follow our broadcasts. People of Distinction is internationally syndicated solely due to the love and support that you all continue to give. We're available across all major distributors, and as long as you keep following, we're going to continue to put out the content. Now sit back and strap in, because on the line with us today, we have the impressive Nathaniel Lofland. Now we're going to be discussing his amazing book, Life Insurance for the Living. It's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble, it's a lot of other places, man. But if you want to gather everything that he has in store, listen, you can do no better than going to his personal website. That's nathaniellofland.com. There, gather more information on him, on his book, hyperlinks set up to take you to the purchasing pages. Man, I'm telling you, it truly is a one-stop shop. Again, that's nathaniellofland.com. And I quickly want to take this opportunity and point out the fact that Nate was brought to us by Citi of Books. So for writers out there listening in who have gone through their process and now you need some assistance moving the book you just worked so tirelessly to create, head on over to citiofbooks.com and gather all of the ways that their fantastic team is well equipped to help you do just that. And listen, it is an absolute pleasure to have Nate here on the line. Man, sit back, have your notebooks ready, people. We're about to get into some things and you're about to receive an education, okay? What if everything you thought you knew about life insurance was backwards? Yeah, now, follow me here, okay? For a century, we've been sold a policy that pays off only when we die. But Nate is here to argue that we've been looking at it all wrong. His book, Life Insurance for the Living, man, he is on a crusade to prove that the best safety net isn't just for your beneficiaries, it's actually for you right now. Sit back, man, and I'm telling you, this is an education for me as well. I was telling Nate on the pre-screening call, I've heard some ramblings here and there about life insurance and about how we all always look at life insurance as preparation for when we die. And so many people, let me not even say so many people, a number of people have discovered that's actually the wrong perception to take. Life insurance should be for ensuring our life while we're here, while we're living, not after we leave. It's going to be a very enlightening conversation, man. Here we go. Nate, first and foremost, brother, welcome to the network, man, and thank you for being a guest. How you doing today?
Hello, how are you, Benji? Nice to meet you, and thank you for the opportunity for talking to me.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you reading the book and having us here.
Well,
thank
Nate,
you.
Of course. Listen, man, thank you. Thank you for writing the book. Thank you even more for being a guest here with us to discuss it. I wish I could say that this is just an amazing, beneficial experience for my listening audience, but I already told you, man, and I said it right there in my opening. This is going to be as much of a benefit for me as it is for everyone else. So I thank you for being here and really, listen, man, for spreading the education. Let's jump right in. And first and foremost, Nate, tell us more about yourself and your background, please.
Okay. I'm born in a small town in New Jersey. Family. My mom passed away when I was a month old. And my dad raised us up. And it was all my two sisters and my brother and four of us. And my dad raised us and he worked hard and sent us all to school. And, I went to college, got a degree, went into management, for a little while, got some education in there and learned the business. And then I met my wife, we got married and we have some children and grandkids and we, just moving along. And then my life insurance journey started. I got my license and I started the journey about the life insurance. And we just went on from there. The thing that really struck me about this business, is that I've learned a lot. And finally, I have the opportunity to share it with people and try to set some of the situations, because, the things that you find in life, of helping people and helping them with their life insurance journey. I've learned a lot from them, and they learned a lot from me, and that still continues today.
Yeah.
And I've been in the business over 30 years, and I still have clients and family members that still think of me as part of the family. We have seen little kids, and they grow up, and hey, they graduate in college, they get married, they have new families, and I'm just so happy to be able to share this news with them, about, and they already know it through their parents. So the first thing they know is, hey, we got to call Mr. Nate. This is he got to set us up, and so I'm just so happy that this book I finally got it out, and that it's available.
Yeah,
for people to learn. Yes, absolutely.
So Nate,
educate.
Absolutely. So Nate, let's jump in a little further, man. I want to go into inspiration next, but not necessarily inspiration for this book, although it may be that, and you can, of course, approach it from that perspective. But during your journey, I've mentioned it in the opening, right? Like, for the everyday person, of course, you're involved in that business. So you look at life insurance differently than many people. But for the everyday person, life insurance is generally something that people get with the understanding that this is going to protect their family and loved ones after their death. So it always revolves around that. What was the specific moment for you, or maybe even specific client interaction in your 30 years of experience, that crystallized this philosophy that it wasn't about that life insurance could be used, and actually was supposed to be used, for the individual's life, not death?
I started out like in the 80s when I got my license. And it was that old school way of, life insurance is when you get. But, I used to always get the question, what's in it for me? And when I was just starting up, I'm going to pay all this money for this life insurance, and I got to die for my family to even see a dime. I'll never see a dime of it. What is available? So, through the years, you have to always balance that and back that up with a conversation of, well, you don't want your family to be left out here without, coverage. Who's going to pay the rent? Who's going to pay the mortgage? What's going to happen to your children if something happens and you're not around? We get into those conversations. But then I discovered a company and that allows you to take money from the death benefit. And immediately I applied. I got a job with the company, and I wanted to learn, what are you talking about? What do you mean that you can take money from the death benefit? What is going on? But I lay it out in detail in the book, and it explains to people, what it actually is. Life insurance can also be used as a living benefit. And this is where I started my crusade, to help as many people as I possibly could and educate them on this is life insurance. If you qualify, can actually help you while you're living. The death is unfortunate, but while you're here, what if you had some help with a critical illness, or if something happened and, you're not able to work? And of course, you don't want these things to happen to you. I mean, you want to stay healthy, but if the unforeseen happens, and where do you get the money from? Sometimes if you're not able to work on some job, you don't have an income. I'm just encouraging people to look at this vehicle and look at these vehicles to educate them. And it's not only for me, but it's to also help the agents or you're sitting in front of. It doesn't always have to be me. Educate you to ask them about these policies, and do their company represent, these type of living benefits that could help you and your family in your time of need. And also, what about if it has a little savings plan on the side for your retirement, or to help you out of a situation while you're living? It's your money. You put the time in, you put the investment in, it can help you. It could help you, it could help your family. So that's the crusade that I started when I learned about life insurance. And it can be a living benefit, not just a death benefit. So what about, the death is unfortunate, but while you're here, this can benefit you. And trust me, I went back to all of my clients that asked me those questions. And I said, hey, I got something for you. Okay, this is something while you're here that could benefit you if you put the time in. Okay, and if you qualify, I could put you into something and that, hey, you can actually, when you retire, get a little income from your savings if you want to use it that way. Or you could use it as you please. You want to go take a vacation, it's up to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the benefit is here, and a lot of times we work hard and we get that house. We get all of the things that we work hard for. But sometimes the unfortunate things happen and you're not able to keep it, or something happens with the job, you're not able to work. Wouldn't it be nice to have a little nest egg for yourself, a little slice of pie over in the corner with these benefits that would help you maintain your hard-earned work and savings and the future for your family.
Yeah.
So that's basically where we go with that.
Nate, listen, man, thank you for the information. Yeah. People, what I'm gathering from this is there's money being left on the table, and we need to do better at collecting it, all right? It starts by heading on over to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, NathanielLofland.com. Purchase your copies of Life Insurance for the Living today, because I promise you tomorrow is going to be a whole lot brighter. My follow-up now, Nate, all right, listen, let's pose a hypothetical here, but get straight to the nitty-gritty. Let's say for a listening audience member that, man, they're listening to you speak. They're listening to this podcast while they're in the car heading to meet with their life insurance agent right now, okay? So they're going to pick up the book. They're going to purchase it. But, man, Amazon, the best they could do is next day delivery. This book ain't getting there for at least 24 hours. They're on the road to talk to their life insurance agent right now. What is either the single most important, or at least some of the most important questions that a client should ask an agent to cut through the jargon and get straight to the truth about these living benefits that you're talking about in a policy that they're being offered?
Yes, very good question. What they should be asking their agent is, and it tells you in the book, ask him, does his company even carry these policies? Because a lot of companies may not even offer this. They sell straight death benefits. It's just the way that they do it, and they don't want to get into the other things that may help a client and their families. But, so I educate, and encourage them to just go in and ask them, so what about some of these living benefits? How can I get some of this added to my policy? Say if I get sick with a critical illness, how does my policy help me? Can I do anything? Can I get anything from this policy besides death? And just ask the agent. I always say put the agent on the spot. Okay, because, he should be there to help you and your family put together a plan that will help you while you're here and help you, your family while they're gone, if you're gone. So that, the situation is a lot of times it's a lot of work, and people just seem to not want to, some people may not even want to be bothered with it. But I'm encouraging the customer and the client, the people who are listening, the people who pick up this book, to just pick up for yourself. Ask the hard questions, because your family and yourself and your future is the one that's going to benefit from it. Okay. And so, it's their duty to serve you and to make sure that it's presented. The right things are presented for you to be able to protect yourself and your family and your investments. Okay. Because a lot of times you're spending one thing, but you're covering multiple things. Yeah. And then in today's world, as far as with the health insurance, and they don't cover 100%. What happens to the other 20 or 30 or 40% that has to be paid? That comes after you. That comes after your assets. That comes after anything that you accumulate, your savings or whatever. So what happens if you have this covered, or some of it might be covered with the life insurance policy that you have? All you have to do is just ask to see if, hey, do you have a policy that may cover some of these situations that I go through into the book? And ask the hard questions, because you'll get the right answers, and it'll help.
Nate, listen, man, thank you very much for the education. My final question here for you, for your readers that pick up the book, and once they finish, what is the lasting impression? What is one thing that you want them to take from the book? Not just buy a policy, right? Like even deeper than that. What are you wanting them to take that'll help them take control of their financial narrative?
The one thing that I hope that they get from the book is to realize that this is not a one size fits all. Okay. And for my clients, they all know it's one child, one client, and one family at a time.
Yeah.
For me, when I sit in a family's house, I could sit in your house today and talk to you and your family and go next door, and it'll be a totally different conversation because their needs may be different. You know, what they're looking for may be different. It may be critical illness. Or maybe, I'm just using this as an example, or long-term care may be more important to them than some other things that you might. So you could tailor your policy, okay, to suit you and your family. And you can choose the vehicles, okay, that the companies have to offer to ensure that you and your family think. So the one thing I would love for people to take away is to know that what if you could take care of some medical bills, the death benefit is the unfortunate, and have a savings plan for your future? What happened if you could do all of that with just one payment? You know, would that be something that you could invest in and just have it be part of your portfolio?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that it's everything, you know, because you can always have your other investments.
Of course.
But just say if you just have this one investment that would help you with some of those what ifs, how important would that be to you? So I always drive that home. And then also, too, I like people to understand when you go out and you work hard, you buy a mortgage, you're trying to provide a roof over your family's head. It doesn't matter if it's a mortgage or if it's rent or whatever it is. If you have your family here, what happens to them? Who's going to pay the rent if something happens to you? Who's going to pay the mortgage if something happens to you? It's the same scenario. So we're out here to help everyone because everyone is faced with similar avenues that they need to be thinking, hopefully, you know, be thinking about. Every year we have new families that have new kids, they're getting married, and people are starting families. And wouldn't it be nice to just know what to ask your insurance agent? You know,
Absolutely.
I always tell people, it doesn't have to be just me. It doesn't have to be me. But if you take this book, if any agent that you sit in front of, you have some kind of knowledge of what, you know, when you sit down about what they should be talking to you about and how to protect yourself and your family.
Nate, you know, man, listen, I think that's so key to all of this, right? That really is, you know, the old adage is knowledge is power, and absolutely it is. But with regards to this particular discussion, man, knowledge gaps, they cost us money. And your book helps us close a massive one. Man, people, listen, I'm just going to say it one more time. First and foremost, remember, it's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble, it's NathanielLofland.com. Pick up your copies of Life Insurance for the Living today, because really, what are you waiting for? Right? Like, there's so much that we discussed today, but I promise you we've barely scratched the surface. And the biggest takeaway for me was that knowledge really is the difference between a policy that sits in the drawer and a policy that saves your life. And Nate, man, listen, he gave all of us the language and confidence to ask for more from our coverage. So for everybody that's listening in, man, if you want to stop being a passenger and you want to start being the pilot of your financial plan, you got to grab copies of this amazing book. And like he said, it's nuanced. So there's going to be variations to it, but this is a fantastic roadmap, a wonderful place to start. And then you can begin catering it to your particular plan. But it only starts with purchasing this book. So head on over there and get your copies. Nate, this has been a true pleasure, man. An absolute honor. Keep up the fantastic work. And once again, thank you for being a guest on People of Distinction.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.